Hello guys, welcome back. Today we're looking at how to create a to-do application with PHP and MySQL or MySQL database. Okay, so guys, let's get started. Now, this is my htdocs folder. After opening some folder, you open your htdocs. You create a folder, call it ToDo App or whatever you want to name it. You put the name there. Okay, so now I'll be opening my ToDo application. So you open the folder and then I'll open it with the VS Code. My VS Code is opening my ToDo app for me. Alright, so inside my ToDo app, I'll create a file, call it index.php, and also I'll create a folder where I'll keep my CSS and JS file. Name it assets folder. Inside the asset folder, I have CSS folder. Inside asset folder again, I'll have JS folder. So I have two folders in my asset folder. One is CSS, one is JS. Inside CSS, I'll put all my cascading style sheet there, and inside JS, I'll put my JavaScript sheet or files there. Alright, so I'll be using Bootstrap. So I'll go to Bootstrap, CDN to pick Bootstrap file, and then let me connect my internet. Now go to my browser, Bootstrap. Okay, so I'll pick CSS CDN link. Let me pick the CDN link from here. So this is for CSS. I'll open my browser, paste it here, allow it to run. Now we now copy this code. This for the CSS. You come to our CSS, create a file, we name it bootstrap.main.css. Now paste our code here. So this the CSS link for Bootstrap, and also go back, we pick CDN link for the JavaScript. We paste it here, you run it, then we have our code, we copy it, come to our JS, create a file, call it Bootstrap mostly. I don't know why the Bootstrap normally confuses me. .js. Alright, so we have it this way. Now we have our JS file for the Bootstrap CDN and also our CSS file. So now we can even code offline. Now we go back to Bootstrap, then copy the HTML code. We do small editing. Now instead of using the CDN link, now we will not use CDN link again. We'll be using the one in our local hosts. Now we just did. Okay, so our CSS file now is in asset CSS. Then we have our file. So inside the href, we now have our assets, then CSS, and our file, asset CSS file. Then in here to have our assets, js bootstrap.main.js. perfect. So this is at the footer end and the css is in the header tag. Alright, so let's go run our code and see what will happen. Alright, so we have our code here. Okay, hello world. Now that we have our bootstrap links in our local host, we can now start with our HTML programming. Okay, so we have our section. Inside this section I have a container fluid. I assume you are at least an intermediate programmer or intermediate developer. So container fluid, I'll have my row, I'll put it in a column, have the medium type, then in here my form will come here. Okay, so I'll go back to Bootstrap, go to component and check the forms. So let me pick this one. I don't want to go far. Okay, so I have this simple form. So this form here should be text, not email. To do, so here should be title. Have here, which is the placeholder, should also be title. You can do it to do title. So I have my name parameter. I also name it title for easy identification. Here should be to do, or name it to do activity. You decide how to name it. So for me, I'll go for that. Let me add a placeholder for the placeholder. Should be equal to, let me say, okay, activity. It's like my spellings. Okay, so all right, let me also have a name parameter here as a activity. Perfect. So I need to give it a title. Let me have h2, say to do application. Done. Now let me check the code. Okay, we have it this way. Now it is not nice. I would have to have some small margin and then put it in the center. So for center, inside my row, class row, I'll have justify content center. When you check it, all the form will go to the center and my text still remains. So inside the h2 tag, I'll give a class and I'll call it text by center. This are all Bootstrap classes, and it will shift it to the center for us. Let me check. My class spelling is wrong. Class, okay. So to move it to the center for us. All right. Now let me give a small margin at the top. So margin, see there is no margin. So let me just give small margin at least. Let me make it 5 so that at least there will be okay. Now we have this. Let me create a small button here for our submit. So button submit. I'll have type